Welcome to Quiz Time. I'm your quiz master, Sean. How about some more nostalgia? I've got 100 questions for you. So let's see what we know, what we remember. Let's stretch our brains a little bit and have a little fun, shall we? Let's begin. Which ancient civilization is credited with the earliest known floral arrangements used for religious and burial purposes? Was it the Egyptians, the Romans, or the Greeks? It was the Egyptians. In traditional Chinese medicine, which of these practices is believed to balance the body's energy? Cupping therapy, chiropractic adjustments, or cold water immersion? Cupping therapy. The mystical Fountain of Youth was believed to grant eternal youth. Which explorer was rumored to have searched for it? Hernán Cortés, Ponce de León, or Marco Polo? That was Ponce de León. Which monarch had the longest reign in world history? Queen Elizabeth II, Louis XIV of France, or was it Emperor Hirohito? And that would be Louis XIV of France. The Ikebana floral arrangement style originated in which country? Was it China, Japan, or was it Korea? An Ikebana floral arrangement originated in Japan. In Ayurveda, what is the name of the three bodily energies that determine health and balance? Chakras, chi, or doshas? And that would be doshas. Which ancient civilization used honey as an antiseptic and wound healer? Was it the Aztecs, the Greeks, or was it the Egyptians? And that would be the Egyptians. What fruit was falsely believed in medieval Europe to be poisonous if eaten raw? The tomato, the apple, or the plum? They thought the tomato was poisonous if eaten raw. The Victorian era saw the rise of which method of using flowers to convey secret messages? Herbalism, florography, or petal reading? And that would be florography. Which Russian wellness practice involves rapidly switching between hot saunas and ice baths? Banya, Reiki, or Shiatsu? Banya. That's Russian. Which herb was used by the ancient Romans to improve memory? Was it rosemary? Was it thyme? Or was it basil they thought improves memory? Rosemary. I'm going to try it. Which myth about living a long life is still debated today? Sleeping on a full moon ages you? Drinking red wine daily increases lifespan? Or avoiding cold water prevents sickness? Drinking red wine daily increases lifespan. In traditional Korean medicine, what is Hanyak? A type of acupuncture, a meditation technique, or herbal medicine? And that would be herbal medicine. Which civilization was known for using mud baths for skin rejuvenation? The Mongols, the Romans, or was it the Vikings? And that was something done by the Romans. In the language of flowers, what does a red rose traditionally symbolize? Does it symbolize gratitude, love, or friendship, traditionally? Traditionally, it symbolizes love. What type of therapy is common in Thailand and involves stretching and deep massage? Nuad Thai, Thai yoga, or shiatsu? Stretching and deep massage in Thailand is called Nuad Thai. What Chinese belief states that energy flows through the body and affects health? Tao, karma, or qi? And that would be qi. What flower was used by Aztecs in ritual sacrifices? Was it the rose, the marigold, or the lotus? They used the marigold in ritual sacrifices. Emperor Meiji of Japan, known for his modernization efforts, ruled for how many years? Did he rule for 40, 45, or 50 years? He ruled for 45 years. What common Western wellness myth has been debunked? Eating at night causes weight gain. Cracking knuckles causes arthritis. Or 8 glasses of water daily is necessary. 8 glasses of water daily is necessary. What practice in Japan involves forest bathing to improve mental health? Shirin-yoku, onsen, or Reiki? Forest bathing, that's part of Shinrin-yoku. Which flower is associated with funerals in many European countries? Is it the lily, the sunflower, or is it the violet? And that would be the lily. What food did the ancient Greeks believe granted immortality? Was it the olive, ambrosia, or wine? Which one of those did they believe gave you immortality? They thought it was ambrosia. What flower was a symbol of wealth in ancient China? Was it the chrysanthemum, lavender, or poppy? A symbol of wealth in ancient China. Chrysanthemum was a symbol of wealth. What was a common ingredient in medieval European medicine? Aloe vera, sage, or wormwood? A common ingredient in medieval European medicine was wormwood. Louis XIV, the Sun King, reigned for how many years? 50, 72, or 65 years? Louis XIV reigned for 72 years. Which Asian wellness practice focuses on unblocking energy meridians? Hydrotherapy, acupuncture, or reflexology? And that would be acupuncture. What plant was used by Native Americans as an early form of toothpaste? Was it sage, licorice root, or mint? An early form of toothpaste for the Native Americans? They used licorice root. In the Middle Ages, what was a common superstition about staying healthy? Wearing garlic protected against the plague, sleeping on straw for better dreams, or drinking water only at sunrise? Wearing garlic protected against the plague. What European city is known for its flower markets dating back to the 17th century? London, Paris, or Amsterdam? And that would be Amsterdam, known for its flower markets. What Russian herbal tea is known for its calming effects? Matcha, Ivankai, or Rooibos? And that Russian herbal tea is Ivanchai. Which flower was a symbol of nobility in the Ottoman Empire? Was it the tulip, the daisy, or the orchid? The tulip was a symbol of nobility. What ancient civilization used charcoal to treat wounds? Was it the Mayan civilization, the Egyptians, or was it the Greeks? It was the Egyptians. What common myth about health is still widely believed today? That chewing gum stays in your stomach? That carrots improve night vision? Or reading in dim light ruins eyesight? Carrots improve night vision. That's a myth? Which traditional Japanese practice is known for arranging flowers artistically? Ikebana, Feng Shui, or Bonsai? And that would be Ikebana. What ancient trick was used by Roman soldiers to stay hydrated? Eating dried meat before battle, drinking vinegar water, or holding ice cubes under their helmets? They used to drink vinegar water. What French monarch ruled for over 60 years and saw the fall of the monarchy? Louis XVI, Queen Victoria, or Louis XV? It was Louis XV. What Asian wellness practice involves using needles to relieve pain? Cupping, Tai Chi, or acupuncture? Acupuncture. What plant was used by Egyptians in perfumes and embalming? Peppermint, jasmine, or myrrh? They used myrrh. What Chinese practice is believed to influence life force, qi, through spatial arrangements? Feng Shui, Reiki, or Tai Chi? And that would be Feng Shui. What political and military alliance was formed in response to the Cold War tensions? The League of Nations, NATO, or the Warsaw Pact? And that would be NATO. During the Cold War, what was a symbolic and physical barrier dividing Eastern and Western Europe? Was it the Berlin Wall, the Iron Curtain, or the Maginot Line? It was the Berlin Wall. What Cold War event nearly led to nuclear war in 1962? Was it the Berlin blockade, the space race, or was it the Cuban Missile Crisis? It was the Cuban Missile Crisis. What is a common belief about why Canada is considered a friendly country? It was founded on peace treaties, it has never had a civil war, or it never colonized any nation. It has never had a civil war. Which Canadian lake is rumored to have a Loch Ness-like monster named Ogopogo? Okanagan Lake, Lake Winnipeg, or Lake Superior? Okanagan Lake. The Truman Doctrine, 1947, was intended to do what? Strengthen trade agreements, support nuclear disarmament, or promote democracy? It was to promote democracy. What Cold War strategy involved the US and USSR indirectly fighting through proxy wars? Containment policy, mutually assured destruction, or was it McCarthyism? And that would be containment policy. What is the fasting period observed by Muslims called? Eid, Ramadan, or Hajj? And it is Ramadan. In what Canadian province do people celebrate screech-in ceremonies for outsiders? Quebec, Alberta, or Newfoundland and Labrador? Newfoundland and Labrador. What holiday is widely celebrated in Japan on December 24th, but not as a religious event? Christmas, Emperor's Day, or Oban? Christmas. Which Cold War policy focused on preventing communism from spreading? Containment, brinksmanship, or isolationism? And that policy was containment. What did the Marshall Plan, 1948, do for Europe? Did it increase military presence? Did it provide economic aid? Or did it reduce trade barriers? It provided economic aid. Why does Canada use both French and English as official languages? It had a language referendum, it was originally founded by the Dutch, or it was a British and French colony. Canada was a British and a French colony. Which Cold War confrontation ended with the USSR withdrawing missiles from Cuba? The Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cuban Revolution, or was it the Bay of Pigs invasion? It was the Cuban Missile Crisis. What Russian satellite launched in 1957 started the space race? Was it Mir, Sputnik 1, or Luna 2? It was Sputnik 1. What plant's discovery led to the first antibiotic, penicillin? Was it mold, willow bark, or aloe vera? It was mold. What Canadian province is home to the legend of the Wendigo, a terrifying folklore creature? Ontario, British Columbia, or Nova Scotia? And that would be Ontario. Which Cold War event was a failed invasion attempt by Cuba by the U.S.? The Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs invasion, or Operation Barbarossa? And that would be the Bay of Pigs invasion. What North American holiday celebrates indigenous traditions? The Powwow, Canada Day, or Pioneer Day? And that would be the Powwow. Which Cold War leader was known for the policy of glasnost, or openness? Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, or Mikhail Gorbachev? And that would be Mikhail Gorbachev. Which country celebrates Diwali, the Festival of Lights? India, Sri Lanka, or Nepal? And that would be India. In which European city did the Cold War officially end in 1991? Was it Paris, Berlin, or Moscow? And that would be Moscow. What type of tree has been historically used in medicine to treat malaria? Pine, cinchona, or oak? And that would be the cinchona. Which Canadian island is known for its Viking settlement discovered at L'Anse aux Meadows? Prince Edward Island, Vancouver Island, or Newfoundland? And that would be Newfoundland. What symbolic act in 1989 marked the nearing end of the Cold War? The Cuban Missile Treaty, the signing of the Warsaw Pact, or the fall of the Berlin Wall? And that would be the fall of the Berlin Wall. Which Soviet leader was in power during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, or Mikhail Gorbachev? And that was Nikita Khrushchev. What country split into two after World War II, intensifying Cold War tensions? Vietnam, Germany, or Korea? And that would be Germany. Which historical figure is associated with developing the first smallpox vaccine? Alexander Fleming, Louis Pasteur, or Edward Jenner? And that would be Edward Jenner. What Canadian holiday, celebrated on July 1st, marks the country's independence? Victoria Day, Canada Day, or Thanksgiving? And that would be Canada Day. What nation has a festival called Songkran that celebrates the new year by throwing water? Japan, Thailand, or Vietnam? That would be Thailand. What is the name of the U.S.-Canadian Defense Alliance formed during the Cold War? NORAD, CETO, or NATO? And that would be NATO. What famous botanical collection is housed in London and contains one of the world's largest plant archives? Kew Gardens, the British Museum, or the Oxford Arboretum? And that would be Kew Gardens. What was the primary reason behind the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan in 1979? Was it oil control, retaliation for U.S. involvement in Vietnam, or protecting a communist government? They were protecting a communist government. What is a common misconception about the Cold War? It was fought between the USA and USSR, there were no military conflicts, or it lasted only 20 years. It was fought between the USA and USSR. Which city is home to the legend of the Screaming Tunnel, one of Canada's most famous ghost stories? Montreal, Niagara Falls, or Toronto? Niagara Falls is home to the legend of the Screaming Tunnel. What is the name of the holiday that marks the end of Ramadan? Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Fitr, or Ashura? And that would be Eid al-Fitr. What major political event occurred in China during the Cold War, causing millions of deaths? The Boxer Rebellion, the Cultural Revolution, or the Taiping Rebellion? And that was the Cultural Revolution. What plant was used in ancient times as a natural antiseptic and is still used today in many medicines? Aloe vera, mint, or lavender? And that would be aloe vera. What country was split into North and South due to Cold War politics? Germany, Vietnam, or Korea? And that country would be Korea. What famous Cold War era speech included the phrase, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall"? Ronald Reagan's Berlin Wall speech, John F. Kennedy's Ich bin ein Berliner, or Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech? It was Ronald Reagan's Berlin Wall speech. What was Pablo Escobar's cartel called? The Sinaloa Cartel, the Medellin Cartel, or the Cali Cartel? Pablo Escobar's cartel was the Medellin Cartel. Which Mexican drug lord was known as El Chapo? Joaquin Guzman, Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, or Amado Carrillo Fuentes? El Chapo was Joaquin Guzman. What year did California officially become a U.S. state? 1862, 1850, or 1848? California became a U.S. state in 1850. What is the capital of Australia? Is it Sydney, Canberra, or Melbourne? The capital of Australia. That would be Canberra. What was the name of the operation that led to Pablo Escobar's death? Operation Search Block, Operation Phoenix, or Operation Neptune Spear? That was Operation Search Block. Which U.S. state saw a massive drug crisis in the 1980s due to cocaine trafficking? Was it Florida, California, or Texas? It was Florida. What infamous prison did Al Capone serve time in? Rikers Island, Sing Sing, or Alcatraz? Al Capone served time on Alcatraz. Who was the leader of the Cali Cartel, one of Pablo Escobar's biggest rivals? Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela, or Carlos Leder? Gilberto Rodríguez Orejuela. What deadly animal is commonly found in Australia? The Komodo dragon, the inland taipan, or is it the rattlesnake? It is the inland taipan. What was California's gold rush period? The 1820s, the 1840s, or the 1860s? The gold rush period was the 1840s. Which Mexican cartel is known for its brutal tactics and control over border trafficking? The Zetas cartel, the Tijuana cartel, or the Guadalajara cartel? It is the Zetas cartel. What was Pablo Escobar's estimated net worth at his peak? $5 billion, $30 billion, or $100 billion? At his peak, he was worth $30 billion. What city in California was home to the rise of Silicon Valley? San Jose, San Diego, or Los Angeles? And that would be San Jose. Which Colombian drug lord was known as the Lord of the Skies? Pablo Escobar, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, or Fabio Ochoa Vasquez? And that would be Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Which U.S. agency was responsible for hunting down Escobar? Was it the DEA, the FBI, or the CIA? That would be the DEA. What is the name of the world's largest coral reef located in Australia? The Tasman Reef, the Coral Triangle, or the Great Barrier Reef? That would be the Great Barrier Reef. What was California's original name under Spanish rule? Alta California, Nueva España, or Baja California? California's original name was Alta California. What year was Joaquin El Chapo Guzman captured for the final time? 2016, 2014, or 2018? It was 2016. What Australian animal is known for its loud laughing call? The kookaburra, the cockatoo, or the wombat? And that would be the kookaburra. And now question 100. What famous island prison is located off the coast of California? Is it Rikers Island, San Quentin, or is it Alcatraz? And that would be Alcatraz. Hey, thanks for playing. You've done an amazing job. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and share your scores in the comments section, please. And you should check out these videos here, too. They're also a lot of fun. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.